Back again for more playoff hockey tonight. TSibs with you, and it's Thursday night hockey special playoff edition. We're going to have Vibez here in a little bit. A little bit later on, Biggie Biggs will be here from the defending champ, Stockton Heat. And we'll talk everything about what's going on in the playoffs. Of course, lots has already happened. The grid is starting to fill out a little bit, as you see. A couple of matchups have already been determined. Thunderbirds will take on the Hershey Bears, and Cleveland and Manitoba will face off against each other in the West. Meanwhile, two Game 7s tonight to talk about. Syracuse and Binghamton. That game has gone back and that series has gone back and forth, but not the same with the Reign and the Barracuda. Those two teams have had a tale of two different series, as the Reign took a 3-0 lead in the series, and then the Barracuda coming back and taking the last three games, including a Game 5 9-0 victory after some issues with lineups for the Reign, and they're going to wind up having to take, I think, a penalty or two tonight. We'll find out more later, but I believe they do have to take a penalty tonight because of some of the issues that they had with their lineup. But we'll hear more about that in a minute. But before the other guys get on here to talk about everything that's gone on in all of these series, and you know, if you heard Vibez show a little bit earlier today, you definitely heard about what's going on in the league, and the fact that a lot of these series may or may not be surprises for people. I don't know. I can't say one way or another if I really think anything's a surprise in the West. I mean, Dallas, played their ass off to get into the playoffs. You certainly can't say that they backed in. They played hard to beat out Stockton and got there. The fact that they won that series against the Gulls, not really a big surprise, but one that is a little surprising how it happened. And I think that's what people, would talk about. But in the other series in the West, was the Reign up 3-0 in this one, and then dropping 3 in a row to San Jose. And we got a chance to talk to Ducks fan Waterloo a little bit earlier on this evening, and just talk to him about what's been going on in this series, and how he got there and what they're going to do tonight to try and take the series 4 games straight after being down 3-0. Ducks, you guys are down 3-0 in this series, and we saw some comebacks last season in the playoffs. What's your initial thought when you're down 3-0 and you have to try to not convince your team, but yourself, that you guys still have a damn good team? And as quickly as Ontario was able to go up 3, you guys had the chance to come back, with the right mindset. How do you get the guys to get their minds wrapped around that and get it done?
Right. Yeah. So going down 3-0. I mean, people will probably say, or people probably won't like to say this, but you're kind of freaking out on the inside. But you got to make sure everyone's positive and motivated. That's one of the thing I like most about our guys. There's no negativity in the team chats. Everyone was really supportive. And obviously the line of Davey, Patriot, and Magic Man got it done for us 2 games in a row. So
when you guys come all the way back 3 games, that second game, or Game 5 actually, the second game you guys won. Obviously, the Reign had some issues, but it still could have been a relatively close game. But you guys wound up coming out of that with a 9-0 win. Do you think beating them to that number was something that helped propel you even more to win that third game?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see the number 9-0, and everyone's confidence just skyrockets. And obviously, in that game, the Reign had a couple of scheduling issues. They had to get an ECU for C. Fairman, but still, our guys kind of just shuffled the puck around, moved it around, and did their work there.
Now, just looking back at the games that you and Razor and JCap played so far, you guys lost your first matchup against the Reign in the playoffs here, but won your second one, 3-1 win. You guys played well. You had a goal in that game. Tonight you're coming back with Razor, but you've got Squid in the middle at center. Tell me the thinking about that. Not that it needs a lot of this explanation because it is Squid, but you still have to make a decision. Jay has been playing good as well, and is it just a matter of just trying to get your best at a position out there?
It's basically just all availability. JCap, he would be in there, and Squid would be left wing instead of me there, but JCap couldn't make it, so Squid's slotting in, and he's out.
So what's the? I mean, other than win, what's the game plan for tonight? What do you tell your guys that you've learned the last 3 games that you need to continue doing?
Right. Don't want to give out our game plan too much, but
Sure.
the guys have been talking in the locker room. We've noticed what they've been doing, specifically DeGraves and the defensive pairing of Gamer and Cuban. So as long as they keep playing the way they keep playing, we have a plan in place, and we plan to execute it.
This has been a first round matchup that could just as easily have been a conference final. Hell, this could have been a Calder Cup final with the level of quality that both of these, your team and the Reign, have had. What's it been like overall this season, being in the West and being chased back and forth with Ontario, and then still having Stockton on everyone's heels, and the Gulls having their win streak, and even the Roadrunners playing well for a good chunk of the season? Talk to me about what the competition has been like all season.
It's been playoff competition all season long within the division. I mean, you look at the top 5 teams. Stockton almost made it in, but they obviously won the Calder last year. That if they snuck in, they probably would have been pretty close to it this year again. And then the Texas Stars upsetting the Gulls, which was huge, just proves how much depth there really is in our division, and just how chaotic it is, really, I'd say.
What's the final thing you're going to say to the guys tonight before you finally get out there and play?
Probably gonna have a little bit of a motivational speech to rally the troops. I mean, we've come this far from going down 3-0 to now it's tied 3-3. So just the message that, like, if we lose this game, like, it doesn't really matter how many games we won in a row. Like, the season's over. So yeah, just pump up the boys and get ready to win Game 7 for us.
Ducks, thanks a lot, man. We'll talk to you later on, and best of luck with the game tonight. You guys have had a good season so far, and you got it to Game 7 at least.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Ducks fan Waterloo joining us on the pregame show, and joining me now on the broadcast is Vibez, who is got nothing to do tonight, and he's joining us for the broadcast for these 3 versus 3 games here. Game 7 for both of these setups, and Vibez. Ducks is one of those guys who has been a good player, and then we found out a season or 2 ago that he knows how to run a team and knows how to get guys together, and really knows players and the game. He's just an all-around guy in LG and in video hockey, and he's a valuable chip to any team, and he's done a hell of a job getting this group back into the series.
Absolutely. I mean, he's got one up on me, to where not only does he understand the game and he's able to manage a team, but he's also good, which is always an added bonus. He's a dynamic player, and he's just as good of a manager. I mean, you look back to last year when the Checkers had some success, and you can't help but wonder if if maybe Ducks had quite a bit to do with that team. I know that Greek reaped all the credit, and I guess deservedly so, but you have to wonder if Ducks had something to do with it, because now here he is again, season 5, second season in a row where he's a part of a team. He's part of the the intricate workings of the team, and they're doing well again. So you got no choice but to respect Ducks and what he brings as not only a player but a manager as well.
Biggie Biggs joining us now as well on the pregame show, as this first game is going to get started a little bit late. Duck's warning me that one of his players is going to be a few minutes late, so this one is probably not going to start for another 10 minutes, somewhere around there. So, Biggs, thanks for joining us again tonight. And, Game 7s are always interesting. We were just talking about the interview with Ducks fan Waterloo, and what he was able to do to try and get his team back into that series after being down 3. You guys with the Heat, you experienced this last season with Dallas. What do you do? What do you tell the team? How do you get them back involved and not ready to, just throw down the controller and be done?
Are you talking from San Jose's point of view or Ontario's?
Oh, San Jose. I mean, getting back into it, yeah.
So once they're down 3-0, what do you say to pump them up?
Yeah.
Well, it starts with that first win. I mean, you get that, and you show your guys there's still hope, because you gotta, people are quitting on you, but you gotta have, you gotta win a game. You gotta get that steam pumping and let it keep rolling and let the barrel roll down the hill and let it build momentum. And I think San Jose might have the advantage in this Game 7 just because of the comeback. And to be honest, I'm looking at the lines and I'm shocked at Ontario's lineup.
I agree with that.
Yeah, just Ontario, you would think would have started Zach at left wing. The problem was availability tonight, and that's why he is not in there. That's the one part of it. Cuban we expected to see on the right D side. I'm sorry. Yeah, on right D. And I believe Gamer was also expected to be playing. You're probably going to put West Side back in there at this point. What part of it are you guys surprised the most about, though?
Forward lineup. Defense?
Yeah.
Fine. It's the forward lineup. I don't see why Orioles isn't in this game or Steve Fairman.
Well, Orioles, I don't know, Vibes, that you heard a little bit about it today during your show. Orioles had a physical emergency. Actually, suffered a concussion, pretty bad one, and so he's not feeling great. He is not. He's actually in a good deal of pain, and in an emergency, he could pick up the controller, but he is not in good shape to play a game right now. So that's the reason why he's not playing. It's one of the rare times we could talk about a video game and a guy not being able to play because of a concussion. So
the only reason I was shocked was because I've played VG with Orioles, and he was known for putting other people in instead of himself, and believing in other people more than his own capabilities. He's a fantastic player, and when I joined his team, he was the reason we were winning, and then people complained they weren't playing enough, so he stopped playing himself a lot, and we started to lose. So it's just, that's what I thought the issue was, but obviously if he's concussed, that's completely understandable.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because he is that kind of player. I mean, he's that kind of guy, period. He just wants everybody to do well, to win if we can, but let's go out there and have fun and enjoy this. And extremely down to earth guy. I love playing with him anytime I get a chance to. And you're right. I mean, he could be selfless to a fault, and certainly, if there was no other reason, you might think that about him. But no, he actually, and I talked to him a little bit more today. He had himself a little bit of a tumble, so he is. It happened I think it happened yesterday or yesterday afternoon or something like that. So he's been out of commission for a good day or so, and just trying to stay out of pain at the most part right now. But And that's unfortunate for the Reign. I mean, this is that combined with the scheduling issue or problems with scheduling Fairman and then unscheduling him. Arguably two of their best forwards, period, not able to play a Game 7. I'm sure that's not how they planned it.
The information on Orioles changes things a little bit, but no Fairman, no Zach, no Orioles, obviously, and no Dangles. Those are 4 players that, if I was making this game lineup, those 4 would be the first 4 I'd look into before any of these 3 forwards. It's just a little surprising, and it's unfortunate maybe with some of the scheduling and availability, and that's, I guess, is out of their hands when you get right down to it. But this Game 7 lineup is not, I would not be feeling too good about this if I was the Ontario Reign. I'm just going to be honest.
I'm also shocked with their goalie. I think Sam is a much better goalie than Westside.
Yes, he is.
Mm-hmm.
He is. I'm really surprised with that as well. I agree.
Well, again, I don't know if that's a matter of there not being someone signed up for it. Maybe nobody else was available. I don't have the details on that. Again, availability seems to have been such an issue in the playoffs this season, and continues to be one. It's kind of a surprise. I realize it is the summer, but it really seems to be plaguing teams even in the playoffs. But it is August. I mean, you're gonna be missing players, and not only that, but of course issues with, like we said, with Orioles, with scheduling of Fairman, with Zach's availability, just not coming at the right time in a Game 7. That this is it. They've got to win this one, and then they've got to hope everything settles down for a few days. If they get past this one, then they've got to take on Dallas, but at least they can regroup and figure out the schedule the rest of the way. So this may be the biggest challenge they have in the playoffs, even if they get further.
Availability wins cups. If you don't have it, you're at a huge disadvantage.
I don't know. I'm just going to be honest. I would be very, very surprised if the Ontario Reign are able to pull this game off. I'd be very surprised.
Well, that one's coming up shortly. Hopefully, we have the teams getting together in a few minutes, and even more, hopefully, we get a stream for the game. Don't know if anyone is absolutely planning to carry this one. Ducks tends to, I know I've seen him stream, I've seen DeGrave stream, so hopefully we get one of these guys streaming this game. If not, then we'll be searching for a stream at the very least with someone. So, but yeah, on the other side, we've got the other series coming up tonight as well with the Sens and the Crunch, a much different series where they've gone back and forth. This series has been pretty much what you would have expected. A lot of chess playing in this one, of course. The Crunch a little bit ridiculed somewhat last season in that conference final against the Bears for only getting Lobo in one game, and they were kind of, I guess, waiting to get him in later, but Lobo Dangles only playing one game in that series last series. Now he's playing a Game 7 against the Senators, and that's what they want in there with Nazi and Leroy up front for the Crunch. So they've got the group they want to, with Tenor back on defense, and then of course on the other side on their defense, Kostom and Golem and Barakov and Robster. So that's a really solid defense facing them. I think this kind of faces off to another 2-1, 3-2 kind of game in the end, Vibes. And I don't know. I kind of have felt good about the Sens in this series, but this is a real toss-up tonight.
Yeah, it is. And a lot has been made about Lobos being a quote-unquote scrub hunter. And we'll see how that comes into play here. Obviously, you're going against another team's Game 7 lineup, so you would like to think that the amount of scrubs around are going to be pretty limited. So we'll see if that comes into effect and see if Lobo can do anything against this Senators lineup. Looking at the Syracuse Crunch lineup, I suspect a little bit of trickery going on here. Not a lot, but I don't know. My spidey senses are tingling. I would expect for a little bit of a swap. I think Nazi probably jumps in on that left wing spot. Maybe Toffoli slots in the middle and Lobo on the right. But something's up with that Syracuse Crunch lineup, so keep an eye on that. They're up to something.
Well, we've got a stream up now, and we're going to get to this game between San Jose and Ontario. This game just about to start up right now, and again, we'll bringing you the broadcast now as you're able to catch the feed. Thanks to Loki to put this one up and get this one all, up for us to take a look at on this one. Again, like you said, the lineups are interesting to say the least for this one, and without question, it's going to be a fun one to watch. Two teams that certainly have a capability of doing a lot when this they get past this one. As you see, Ontario has to take a penalty. I heard something about them maybe having to take 2 penalties, Vibes. Do you know anything about that for this game tonight?
Yeah, there was something about an illegal lineup change, and they have to take 2 penalties off the start. So let's see how that comes into play here.
And actually, yeah, they're taking a double penalty. So it's going to be a 5-on-3 for a minute 50 in this one. And we'll
huge opportunity for the Barracuda here right off the jump.
You don't see a puck bounce off the ice out of play like that. That's interesting. But, yeah, incredible. An incredible task for Ontario. It's one thing being down 3. This series is even, but, man, all the momentum going San Jose's way. And I don't care how good you play the first 3 games. It's awfully tough to get your mind in this one as that one goes off the post. And San Jose already getting some decent opportunities in this one. Good passing so far in this power play.
Got a lot of space out there.
Yeah.
Some good players with a lot of space, Sibs.
And now they killed off the penalty completely. And now Ontario, they have a nice benefit on that one.
It's got to be a boost for Ontario.
I'm slightly shocked actually that Mr. Ziegelnuts isn't in this game.
There's one.
And from a long distance shot, goal by San Jose, putting them up in this 1-0. And again, having that 5-on-3, scoring or not scoring, guys, I still think it helps you get momentum, get loosened up a little bit, get your passing moving. And it certainly, they dragged that momentum even after the penalty into a scoring opportunity.
Yeah, it does. And I mean, on the flip side, though, it could help the team if they kill it off. But unfortunately, in that particular situation, didn't really help Ontario out too much.
Another penalty for Ontario on a tripping call here, and they're going to get another opportunity to do something.
They better be careful and not let this game get away from them early.
Yeah, a quick 2-0 is not too bad. A 3-0 could be the beginning of the end if they start letting it to get to them.
Yeah. I mean, even 2-0 in a Game 7, you got to expect it's going to be a pretty tight game, and it looks like it has been at certain points. And
Squid just walking right in with that play. Unreal. Just the defense just not there. And if you don't have somebody constantly watching him, you're going to pay for it several times.
Oh, yeah.
There's a guy who certainly has got a lot of experience and just keeps on showing how good he is every season.
I'll tell you what, Sibs, they get another one here early, and Fat Lady's going to start humming.
Just seems like Ontario doesn't have doesn't have anything really going. I mean, they're trying to spread out defensively, but they're really not keeping lanes clear. But finally, they're going to be able to move it out and try and do something offensively here. Good pass in front. Sid able to get a nice save on that one. And again, you're going up against a good goaltender in San Jose as well. You better get a lot of opportunities. Open puck right in front of the net. Luckily, not able to get off a good shot. And on the other side,
squeak by.
You know, you mentioned, I think one of you might have mentioned earlier about who they're putting in goal. You know, again, West Side, a really good player, but he is one of those goaltenders who will come unglued if he gets down quick and by a lot.
Yeah, that's what we had Dick Graves telling us last night.
Yeah, he has a history of that. We had him on Tucson a couple of seasons ago. We weren't in the playoffs, but he was playing some games late in the season for us. And when we got behind by a few goals in a couple of games, he, quote unquote, disconnected. So, you know, it's, you know, you got to wonder, and I've heard other stories about that. So that's why I bring that up. And again, when multiple people tell you the same thing, it's when you have to start listening.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Thing is, I mean, if he, you know, he's a hell of a player. You just have to play the game. I mean, in the end, it's frustrating as hell when you lose or you lose a lot. But this is the playoffs. You got to be there the whole time.
Yeah.
San Jose killing a penalty now.
The passing of the Ontario Reign is not really crisp right now.
Yeah, they're not hitting the lanes at all right now, Biggs.
Yeah, they have the right idea, but they're not. Button input errors all over the place.
That's a double.
Input errors.
Same player tripped twice, and so it's going to be a 4-minute power play here. It's always fun to see a double penalty, but to have it happen to the same guy, very interesting. It almost kind of, something like that almost kind of screams of desperation of trying to make a play.
Yeah. Boy, this is a really intense moment in the game.
Coming down to a minute left in the first period, and it's really been all San Jose so far. Of course, the penalties don't help, but and the double penalty, the 5-on-3 early in the game, has been helping with momentum.
Ontario is not playing. Yep, I saw him. Ontario is not playing tight defensively right now. I know they're on a penalty kill, but you gotta be in a tight box, and that box has got to be moving. This left point man for the Barracuda is just wide open.
Yeah, Loki, who's providing the stream tonight, he just made a nice pass inside, and Westside had slid all the way to his left. The net was open, but there just wasn't a clear shot from the angle in front for the forward. So for San Jose, you know, a 2-0 game, but it so far hasn't even been that close. The numbers don't necessarily, except for time on attack there, 3:10 to 35 seconds. That tells you right there the play of the game, but it's much worse than that so far, guys.
I don't know if you saw it, but the one thing Ontario's got going for them right now is their face-offs, and if they pick up their play, having the face-off advantage could be huge.
Yeah, but face-offs, they only mean something if you can do something with the puck. They can't do anything with the puck right now.
That's why they got to pick their shit up.
Another power play, as we know, continuing for San Jose. Big kill needs to happen for Ontario, and then hopefully for them, come right back with an answer of their own goal. Some neutral zone trap there, able to help them a little bit defensively, as this power play has 10 seconds left on it. But a quick break in front and a goal by Razor Edge to now make it 3-0 as the penalty was just about to end. And it is a power play goal. Squid with the assist. He's having a nice night tonight. And this might be that turning point you were talking about, Vibes, or not even a turning point, you know, a point where it's
no turning.
It's a do or die.
Yeah. I tell you what, there's some fat bitch outside my window. I don't know what she's doing out there. Sounds like she's humming.
That's good. Can we get back to the game? No, so far it hasn't been one to say much about. It's been pretty one-sided. San Jose back with the goal, back with another goal, and this time Ducks with his second of the game. And now it's 4-0 Barracudas, 15 left to go in the second period. And well, what does Ontario do to answer this? Do you call a timeout now, guys? Is that even something you consider at this point to try and slow people down?
Got to do something. Oh, here's a break. Nope.
Opportunity there, and DeGrave's looking for somebody, not able to find him, and even a pass from the point. Of course, Ontario pinching a bit, but the defense gets back to help out. Opportunity again for San Jose, but not as clear-cut as you thought it was going to be, and so now Ontario back the other way.
From Ontario right now, the message has got to be just, you know, there's still a lot of time left. Score a goal before they score their fifth. That's all. You just got to get the next goal.
Kind of feel like pucks on the net, or I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, same thing, like you're saying, pucks on net and passes got to be simple. They got to make their plays simple.
Couple of good opportunities there, but Sid able to make the save, and hasn't had a lot of action back there, but he's a very stable goaltender, doesn't move around an awful lot. And to your point, I think you got to get pucks on net, but you have to start passing a lot more. There's some of that passing that they need. A couple of good opportunities, finally.
There's one.
Bake putting it in and getting one on the board for Ontario. 4-1 now, San Jose. So we're halfway through this game.
They get another one here in the next 4 or 5 minutes or so, and we got ourselves a hockey game.
And they're going to get a
penalty.
Going to get a power play here as soon as San Jose touches up, and here's their opportunity to try and capitalize on this.
Got to score here, Sibs.
Little confusion up at the point there, but shot on net.
Center got in the way. If I was that right defenseman, I'd pull out my gun and shoot him.
Again, San Jose quickly jumping out to a 4-0 lead. Ontario just scoring a couple of minutes ago. And now San Jose looking to kill this penalty. Loki ragging it. Shot on net. Good play by Squid, knocking the defenseman off. It spins in front of the net, but Westside covers. Hold tight to the post and able to get a hand on that and freeze it. Minute left to go on the Ontario power play, and they start up now. Hobson trying to get inside. Shot and a good rebound possibility there for Bake, but not able to get it. Shot goes wide. Now again, another shot from the point. Partially deflected, but then still a save, blocker save. Another shot, good save. Another good opportunity in front, but unfortunately, Bake was not able to get the corner. He got to put it right on Sid, and he makes the save.
Ontario's got the right idea all of a sudden. They're getting a lot of point shots.
And that'll be a trip.
If they get one here, oh boy.
Another San Jose penalty, and again, another power play here. 4 minutes left to go, and Ontario's been getting good opportunities, but again, another block of a shot in front, and that's where San Jose's been able to save themselves a little bit with his onslaught. They've blocked a few of these shots.
Biggs, what do you do here? You just keep firing, huh?
I'd say so. I mean, things are going their way. San Jose seems kind of, I wouldn't say frustrated, but they're definitely not playing the way they were. You've got them struggling or panicking a little bit right now.
Yeah, the Ontario Reign, they could do a lot more all of a sudden. There's a lot more space out there for them. Things are just starting to work.
Let's not speak too soon.
Yeah. Icing call, and so San Jose will be able to take the face off while they're still killing 30 seconds of this penalty. Big trying to find somebody in front. Play's broken up, and looked like Ontario's going to keep it, but now coming back the other way. Razor, good play by the defense to come back and help out. Looked like that was Gamer who was able to help out.
They really got to watch out for Razor. He's been breaking up lots.
Cuban tries to bring it in, but offside is the call. Now the game slowed down a bit. It's almost that mid, I think San Jose kind of sprinted out the first half of this game, and then kind of got a little complacent. Ontario still with opportunities. Good shot there by Cuban, but not able to find an opening. Sid's been playing a nice game in net so far tonight. Getting down to the last few seconds of the second period. Another offside. This game has suddenly become New York City traffic, stop and go the whole way. Maybe one more opportunity here as the seconds trickle down, and that's it for the second period. Ontario with a much better showing, but still down by 3. And, at this point, I'm not sure what else you can do. Do you tell the defense to start coming up?
No.
No?
Just keep doing what you're doing. They're right there, Sibs. They just got to get one by them. They get one by them here early, and it's a 4-2 game, and, they're knocking on the door. But you do got to get one here early in the third now. Time is not on their side.
Ontario now 15 shots on net, and that was not the case earlier. They had only had 3, and so much better period for them. They actually lead San Jose in shots on goal and have come right back up on time on attack. So certainly that was, despite the score, San Jose outscoring them 2-1 in that period. I think Ontario may have had the better of the play overall.
Once again, those face-offs might be super critical coming late in this game.
Yeah, they definitely could be.
I mean, it's funny. Squid's such a good player, but you see right now why he doesn't play center.
Ontario certainly trying to get shots on net. We're seeing them, run the play that a lot of teams like to do, which is just get something on one side and try and follow up on the other side. San Jose's been very smart defensively to not let that happen. And now a steal and back the other way. Razor pass to Squid. He can't get it broken up there nicely by Gamer. And back the other way is Ontario. Opportunity in front and forcing it right through there.
Broken plays, but everything else up to it was good.
DeGraves with the second goal for Ontario, and now it is a two-goal game with 16 left to go, and Ontario attacking again. Almost good opportunity there, and almost a loose puck poked in by Hobson. Now San Jose trying to make their own offensive possibilities.
Now San Jose is starting to push a little bit.
Squid, nice pass in front to Razor, but he can't connect. Partially blocked, and Ontario comes back the other way. Just trying, and they really are just trying to put pucks on net here.
Just keep shooting. Just keep shooting.
Yeah, don't take your finger off the trigger. Wait until every cartridge is emptied.
Spray and pray.
Yeah. Getting down the 11-minute mark here in this third period. 4-2 San Jose. And Ontario definitely had to weather that beginning onslaught and have come back to play valiantly now for quite a few minutes, a good part of the second period, and so far the third, it's been theirs as well.
Still a very dangerous game for Ontario, though, because if San Jose gets one, this game's over.
I have a feeling if San Jose gets one, it's going to be razor edge on a breakaway.
There's going to be a point where they will want to force a little bit more. Like you said, I don't know if that's the case right now, but I think at some point there will be.
Oof.
Oh, opportunity in front, and Squid hits the post. That might have sealed it.
Ontario comes back here. Remember that one.
He's hit a couple tonight, too. Good defensive play. Knocking Razor off the puck, but icing it right now. And they're going to call a timeout. I'm thinking...
Ontario called it.
Yeah, Ontario's calling a timeout here.
A little early.
I don't think so. You caught the icing. And you're pretty much guaranteeing that San Jose is going to call 1-2 eventually, so... I think you need to. Down 2 goals, I don't think it's too early.
I think it's a little early.
Hey, there might not be another whistle all game.
True.
If it had been a 1-goal game, I think I might have agreed with you, Vibes. I think they need some kind of momentum now. A little more. Now they're coming back the other way. Good poke check there. Ontario still holding on to it, trying to get something on net. Pass in the middle broken up. Good shot in front of the net and good opportunity for Bake, but he's not able to connect on it. Now flipped in front, broken up by Loki. Right now, kind of looks like San Jose just trying to get it in the zone, keeping the puck moving out of their zone as much as possible. Loose puck. San Jose, but now back the other way is Ontario. Moving the puck in, flipping it on net, and good play by Sid to play that and then hold on to it. Gamer shot blocked by his own player. Picks it up.
Cool.
You gotta shoot that. Those are gonna get intercepted every time right now. You're not here to play fancy hockey. Game 7, 1 minute left.
Under a minute now and down by 2. They need a miracle. Ontario needs one very quickly. Just looking to get it on net. Opportunity there. Good play by Sid to brush it away. Ontario still trying to drive here. Shot from the point, blocked again, hit his own player, and now held by Sid. That hit Bake.
Not enough time.
Right on the side. I'm sorry, Bake right on the side there.
Oh boy.
Now the puck won back, but knocked out of the zone. Under 30 now.
That's gonna do it.
Yeah, you're gonna see download cycling.
Oh.
Now back the other way, Ontario. One more big drive here at least. They needed one right now.
A little too late.
Yeah.
10 seconds left to go. The puck's going to be iced unless someone beats him to it, but at 8.6, a face-off in the zone. They're going to need a very quick one from the point.
Had Ontario played the first period like they did the second two, I bet you this was their win.
Yep.
Penalty call to San Jose, but with 2.3 seconds left to go, I got to say, at least a valiant effort by Ontario after weathering the storm at the beginning. And considering all that they've gone through the last couple of games, to make this one a close one and a good effort on it, you have to give the Reign some credit. But San Jose will move on and win Game 7 tonight against the Reign 4-2. And, it looked like it was going to be a tough game to watch from the first half of the first period, but it turned into a heck of a game.
Yeah, they Ontario just came out sleepwalking. It's like somebody forgot to set the alarm. They came out flat, and San Jose came out like a house on fire, and that's the difference in the game. Because, I gotta say, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but the second two periods, period 2 and 3, I felt like Ontario was the better team, and just not enough though.
Goal by DeGraves and Hobson on the side for the Reign. 2 by Ducks fan, 1 by Squid, 1 by Razor. Squid and Razor a goal and 2 assists each. Everybody on the scoring sheet for San Jose. And 23 saves by Sid in this game, giving San Jose the win. Good, a heck of an offensive. Look at that shots on goal. Ridiculous at was it 25-11 total shots on goal. Again, goaltending, wasn't sure that was going to necessarily be a big part of this, but in the end, San Jose needed some big saves to keep them in this one, and Sid just positionally well, didn't make anything spectacular, but he was there at the right place every time.
Yeah, he played a hell of a game.
And so now we go on to another Game 7 in this series. And before we do that, why don't we talk a little bit about what we've got now on the on our playoff grid. We've got now filling in with Texas is going to be the San Jose Barracuda, and certainly San Jose has been up top of the division. Again, Texas had a fight to get in. Quick observation, Biggie, from you on, what this series is going to be. A number 3 and number 4 seed going at each other.
I think it's interesting for sure to see, 4 teams that are all scary to pop out into the quarterfinals and see who it's going to be. I wouldn't have really imagined that it would be a Texas San Jose. I was thinking more of the goals really messed up the standings, but it's really interesting. In fact, like the fact that they're seeded 3rd and 4th really doesn't mean anything, just because the division's so tight, and I think it's going to be an exciting series. I can't even imagine who I'm going to pick or vote on, because that's going to be a really, really tough series, especially if San Jose keeps playing the way they're playing.
Any early thoughts on this one for you, Vibes?
Offense versus defense. That's the first thing that pops out to me. The San Jose Barracuda and the high-powered, high-octane offense versus the team defense and, bend but don't break sort of, persona of the Texas Stars. And I guess we're going to, people always say that defense wins championships, and I guess we'll find out.
Looking to see if I can get Ducks fan to come on for a minute or two just to talk about this win. But, certainly it's, again, another good round of matchups. If we look at the entire divisional finals, you're going to have Texas and San Jose, the Moose and the Monsters, and actually certainly two incredibly solid teams there going up against each other. You've got the you've got the Marlies and either the Crunch or the Senators. Again, whoever plays in that one, still going to be a hell of a series. And then the Thunderbirds and the Bears, and the Thunderbirds, Springfield, handling Hartford 4-1. Again, I was admiring how good last season was when we did those playoff games. I think again we have some of the best matchups we've seen at this point. We're going to have Ducks on here in a second to talk about this victory and his next playoff stint to come up and what he's going to have to do to get ready for Texas. And we've talked enough about Texas and what they've been able to do against San Diego, but now San Jose is going to have to deal with them. And Ducks fan Waterloo joins us. Congratulations on a Game 7 victory. And it looked like at the beginning of this one, you guys might run away with it, but quickly Ontario answered and gave you guys a hell of a game.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, after that 5-on-3, we were piling on the pressure, and then soon after piling on the goals. But I'll tip my hat to them. They kept it close there and really gave it to us in the second half of the game, that's for sure.
What when things started to turn a little bit, and you guys were up 4-0, and then you're starting to see them play better offensively, pass the puck better, then they finally get themselves on the board. What was the atmosphere like? What were you guys saying to each other? Did you see a tide turning at that point?
No, not really. We kept the same demeanor in the party chat. Like, everyone just kept saying, like, stay in your positions. We got these guys. I mean, their first goal was kind of lucky. It beat the puck, barely beat Nuo to the post there. But I mean, a goal is a goal. But I knew we were gonna eventually shut them down, and that's what we did in the third period there. Kept them on lock.
And certainly, you mentioned Nuo and his game in that 23 saves. It didn't necessarily look like he was getting a lot of work early in this one, but man, it picked up for him. And he was there. He was positionally sound the whole game.
Yeah, no doubt. We owe this one to Nuo for sure. I mean, 23 saves on 25 shots in Game 7. That's pretty crazy. And like you said, the chances at the beginning were outside shots, just looking for rebounds. But then they started getting those rebounds, and Nuo kept with the puck all the way. He was awesome tonight.
What do you do now to prepare for Texas? What do you? I mean, obviously you've played them enough, but what do you guys have to concentrate on in practice games for the next few days?
I'm gonna be looking over some tape, see if I can scout out anything that we can work on or abuse and see how we can get our chances there. But obviously, Texas they beat the Gulls, a high-powered offense, and I'd assume they're gonna have a similar play style against us, very defensive. But I'm sure we'll work it out somehow.
If you want tapes to watch, any Stockton, Texas game are the best games to watch.
All right, we'll do.
I got a few pornos if you're looking for tapes.
Yeah, I heard earlier on the Live Wire show.
Yeah, I got you. Send me a message. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Okay, looking forward to it.
Yeah, apparently he's got a side job here now. Listen, congrats again. Thanks for the pregame interview, and nice job in finally closing this one out in Game 7, and good luck with your series against Texas.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for the interview, guys. Keep it up.
You got it. Ducks fan Waterloo with the victory tonight, and his team moving on in the playoffs against the Texas Stars. And again, it's not something that either one of us could say, we saw this series playing out the way it did. I thought it would be a close one, a 6 or 7 gamer, but 3 and then 4 in a row by San Jose is not at all how I expected it. But it just goes to show that all sorts of different things can happen during the playoffs, and you start losing availability for guys. It means a lot more than if you lose a guy for a couple of games during Week 4. that could hurt you, but it's not as obvious. And I think for the Reign, for them to have some issues with scheduling and then wind up losing Orioles, just for one night, it's devastating. And I think for the Reign, it kind of worked out that way for this playoff run.
I think it's kind of best that they win anyways, because if with Orioles out pretty much anyways, you're going into another week. So the strong team took it tonight, and they're definitely gonna probably put up a better fight against Texas anyways.
We got another 15 minutes or so before the next game starts up. Let's talk a little bit more about that Sens and Crunch matchup. For everything that Kostom had done around the trade deadline, taking over the team, making a lot of moves, it looked like it might be a lot going on with that team, and yet he's been able to get them there. And not only do that, but continue to make this team successful, maybe even more successful before he took over and before the trades. And I think if you look at him from a management perspective and what he's been able to do, Vibes, I think you have to give him a lot of credit to be able to somehow keep some cohesiveness and chemistry going on a team that wound up getting a lot of players moved around and losing management at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, he's done a good job, and just because it's not the way that someone would do it, doesn't mean that what he did was wrong. I said from the beginning, once we saw it happen, that I wasn't a fan of all the moves, but I mean, it's worked out, and he's taken the Crunch to a Game 7 here, a Crunch team that was, fighting for top spot in the division and maybe even the conference. He's got him here in a Game 7, round 1, right off the jump. So you do got to give him a little bit of credit, and you got to take your hat off to him. I mean, he jumped in there and he took over mid-season. Amidst the whole, full melt scandal. And then he jumps in, and right away he's got to hit the ground running, and he's done a pretty good job.
What would your, when you saw what was going on, at least around around the trading deadline, Biggs, and you saw what the Sens were doing and the change of management. What was your first thought about what their chances were, and where that team was going?
First thoughts, you assume it's going to probably be another Albany team. It's hard for someone to. Well, I guess there's positive things to take out, because you're getting rid of an owner that a lot of people didn't like. So then you're bringing in, positive vibes, because now you got someone leading your team that you trust in or can have trust in. But it's definitely tough because you're in a shithole, and now you're starting from scratch, or you're dealt a shitty hand and you have to work with it. And he's obviously done great things with his team, and there's got to be a lot of respect given to him for that.
And that game will be coming up shortly, but right now we're going to bring in DeGraves, who played in this Game 7 for the Reign, and he joins us now. DeGraves, thanks for joining us on the broadcast. And listen, you guys weathered the storm early on in that first period, but came back and played a hell of a game and didn't give up. And at the very least, after all what you guys have gone through, you have to be at least proud of the showing in Game 7.
Yeah, due to the circumstances that occurred throughout the last couple games, I was actually pretty happy with the Game 7 outcome. Not with the outcome, but how we played. I knew going into this game it was going to be tough. It was going to be tough. Going against Ducks and all, and what's his name, Squid and Razor Edge. I mean, we already knew what we were getting into. Honestly, after we killed that 5-on-3 to start the game, I was like, hell fucking yeah, man. I was like, let's do it. And then, shortly after, they put up a goal. But, it was 2-0 in the first period. I mean, honestly, if if we had played the first period the way we did the second and third, I think it would have been a lot better game. They played a lot of trap defense in that first period, but man, it was a good game all around. Can't really complain much due to our circumstances and the line that we went up against. But at the end of the day, hats off to Cuda for making that comeback.
The way the momentum changed in that game. Well, first of all, let's start off with the fact that you had to kill a 5-on-3 to begin with, which you did. But I commented as the game was going on that was something that I think might have helped San Jose a little bit. You know, normally you kill a 5-on-3, the team that kills it feels good about it, and perhaps you guys did feel good that you were able to kill that, but they seem to have gained some momentum and right from the beginning because of that 5-on-3, and they got their first goal right after that. Before that goal scored, did you guys feel good about killing the 5-on-3, and did you feel some momentum after that?
Well, for the duration of the 5-on-3, I mean, I think we did. First off, I want to say I think we did a pretty good job with killing that 5-on-3, limiting them to I believe about 2 shots, if I'm not mistaken. And got the puck dumped. I think they had a shot where it wrapped around the boards and it went all the way to the other end, so that killed quite a bit of time. But yeah, I mean, we were talking before the game and kind of strategized, how we wanted to do this, and we agreed that the wingers should take the penalties, and because as me and Gamer and Cuban have some pretty good chemistry on the defensive end, so we thought that was the best way to approach this. And after we killed it, yeah, we felt like it was momentum. And like I said, I told them, before the game, I said, guys, even if they do come away with 1 goal out of this 5-on-3, we're still in this damn game. So, if, like I said, I feel like if we had played the way we did for, halfway through the second to the end of the game, I think this outcome may have been a little different, but I think it would have been a lot closer game, for sure. But we came out real flat in the first period. We had no warm up, no anything per usual. So we had an ECU left wing and really had no chemistry at all at the forward line. And that, I feel like that kind of took a toll going into that game as well.
So obviously you had to jumble some things up with your lineup and change what you would have normally put out there for this kind of game. How much did everything that was going on with your team affect not just the mentality about it, but obviously the strategy of it certainly was affected as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it all started at Game 3, honestly, when we had to use a ECU goalie that had never played goalie before, and somehow, I don't know what the hell happened, but we came out with a win. I don't know how that happened. They were up 3-0, and we came back with the 5-3 victory. I'm still amazed that we got that victory to make it 3-0 in the series, but yeah, I mean, from there, like I said yesterday, we had a couple people not show, or not. One was unintentional, but just that kind of stuff. Especially going into a playoff game, it takes a toll on the players that are actually in the game, and that's where their confidence is at. They've been playing with these guys the whole season, so going to a game, no one shows up, game starts late. Never played with the guy before in his life that's replacing him, and then we had an illegal substitution that made us go into this game with a little bit of negative reinforcement. So it's just those little things that can take effect into a game. Not going to say that was the game changer, but
right.
Definitely for playoffs, you can't go into games like this. So I know as management, when I had to do it one time with an ECU, I just felt like shit for even using one ECU throughout the whole series. So having to use 5 5 or 6 throughout the series. That's just, I'm sorry, but that's just ridiculous. So nothing we can really do on our end. But like I said, Kudos capitalized on it, and they won the series. So like I said, hats off to them.
Well, listen, the Graves, I mean, you guys had a hell of a season. You're a steady team all season long. Kept yourself up top for most of it, and got to 7 games. And so unfortunately, timing is everything in a lot of things, including sports. And the timing of just some of the things that happened to your team this week just didn't work out. And if you'd gotten past this one, it would have been a hell of a test for you guys for the next round. But still, congratulations on a hell of a season and good showing tonight in Game 7.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Sibs. It was a good season, and I know we went through some times, but hats off to Fairman and Orioles. I know some people are kind of shouting at them in the shout box, but we all have a life here, and for the life that they do have, they do a good job at management. And unfortunately, some situations occurred, and it's one of those things where real life over a hockey game. So
right.
It is what it is. So hats off to the management. I enjoyed playing with this team, except when we got into playoffs. I'll admit that. But yeah, man, it was fun. So appreciate your time, Sibs, and right. Good luck to the Cudas. Go Cuda.
All right, sir. Thanks, DeGraves. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, be good.
Take care. DeGraves from the Ontario Reign tonight, joining us, and certainly. Tough loss for them tonight, but like I said, timing is everything, and unfortunately, the worst things that could have happened to them in the last 4 games, last 3 days for this team, definitely happened and put the Reign on the outside looking in. And unfortunately, they're not going to move on. But with the series, we knew a good team was going to get knocked out. The same with the Gulls and Stars. And when you got that many good teams in the West playing in this, in this tournament, Biggs, it's you're going to see some really good teams wind up getting knocked out. And we saw the Reign go by, and the Barracuda, we're up there on top most of the season, and they're going to get a chance to play for the playoff championship of this division now, and they're going to take on a tough Dallas team. But you know what? 4 straight wins. What do you say? Team deserves to be there if they're able to do something like that.
They definitely deserve it, but something I wish that the league would run would be like how the NHL runs the proper seeding in the playoffs. It's unfortunate that you have 4 really strong teams in one division, and then over on the other side you have 4 fairly weak teams based off standings. It's just like it'd be nice to see the top team play the 8th seed. It'd be nice to see the Monsters play. Who would it be? I guess they would still be playing the Griffins, I think. Or actually, it probably would have been Stockton if you would have ran that way. But it would just be nice to see, some of these West Pacific teams come out, more than just 2 of them, and have to, 4 teams, only 1 comes out to beat whoever comes out of the next division and whatnot. And obviously, whoever's made it out has definitely deserved it, and they probably have the hardest fight ahead of them. But these 2 teams deserve it more than anyone, and I'll still bet my money that anyone who comes out of the West Pacific is going to make it to the finals and probably take it all.
I mean, it's always something that we talk about every season, somewhere along the way, Vibes. I think every season we've done this show, there's always a discussion of the playoff structure, and there's always somebody who is taking up one side of it, and usually it's because they're the ones getting screwed out of it. Whether we go for top 4 in division, whether we go for division leaders, and then maybe we do wild cards after that. Does it make sense to follow what the AHL is doing, or does it make more sense to try and give the top point leaders more validation? Do you have any any viewpoint or opinion on this whatsoever?
Well, my personal opinion, like as far as the way to do it, would be top eight each conference. Mainly because that's that's how you get the best competition in, right? You get the top teams,
right,
from each conference. But that's not just a suggestion to LG. That's a suggestion to the real AHL and the NHL and whoever else runs a hockey league. Because when you have this whole divisional thing, and I get that they want to, create the rivalries and stuff like that, but for lack of a better word, your fucking team's over. It's just the bottom line. You're screwing better teams out of a playoff spot, and you're letting lesser teams get in. But then it's like, where does the line end too? Like, do you just take the top 16 from the entire league? Or there's got to be a top 8 from each conference? Well, what if the Eastern Conference absolutely sucks and the Western Conference is good? So it's like,
right,
where do you make that line? Where do you draw your distinction?
I don't see how that would affect it, though. I mean, if one conference sucks and the other one's good, the 8 seed won't affect either or.
Well, right. No, but what I'm saying is, so your argument right now is that with the top 8 from each conference, you get the best 8 teams from each conference, and you're you're not letting a team get in who had 10, 20 less points than a team in the same conference, right? That's basically the basis of your argument. Yeah. Well, okay, you could take it one step further then. What if the top team in the Eastern Conference has 86 wins, and the bottom, the 10th team in the Western Conference has 98 wins, or 98 points rather. I'm sorry. Then you still got the same situation. So like, where does it end? Do you just completely abolish the whole conferences too? You know what I mean? It's like,
I see where
does it end?
I see where you're coming from. I just think it's not necessarily who gets in that bothers me most. It's the seeding when you get in. But I guess you come out of the quarterfinals and you won your division. So it's like a pride thing too, I guess. Instead of, you get to the quarterfinals and it's just like, oh, I've won two rounds. So I could see that. But I just for the best hockey competition, I would just assume top 8 teams seeded 1 versus 8. I would assume that would be the best. I mean, you go to tournaments in any sport and you show up and you're playing in a pool and everyone's been seeded based off what, not necessarily always score, but some analysis takes these teams and says, well, you're going to have a better chance at winning, so I'm going to put you in this pool because you're the better team, instead of, putting the top 2 teams in the first round. Like, what if, you got teams like Texas and San Jose, what if they met in the semifinals instead of, quarterfinals? What different, there's teams that, you're right though, like what happened in the finals last year, the Bears blew everyone out of the water on the east side, but then got, demolished in the finals. But like, you're right. If you want to take it a step further, would the Bears have made it to the finals? And you could question anything. So I see where you're coming from. And
I mean, from a personal opinion, I agree with you. I think that the 8 teams from each conference is the better format. But I mean, LG decided a long time ago that, they were going to try and mimic the AHL. So as long as that's what they're staying with, I think that they should continue to mimic the AHL. I don't think you change it just because a few people are upset. But my personal opinion, I'd agree. I think the top 8 is the better format.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely have to agree that I kind of, I definitely understand that the point of view of, not taking the top 4 in every division. But, the thing is that you're playing, if the schedule were even, if you were playing every team the same amount of times, then what we're saying about taking top teams by points would make a lot of sense. The problem is we're still playing an uneven schedule. We're still playing the teams in our division the most, and in the other Eastern Division, I think you're playing them a little more than in the West. So if you're in the East, so it's the schedule and the playoffs have to go hand in hand. If you're going to change one, you got to change the other. If you're going to change how the scheduling goes, then you change how the playoffs go. And if you don't change the scheduling, it's kind of hard to not take the top 4 based upon the scheduling that they're doing now. And that would be the only thing I would say is I'm in favor of any of it, but the schedule needs to reflect it, because if you're going to take the top 8 teams, I think you need to make, the teams that they're playing, an even amount, because you need to get way to get not just against your division the most and the East, but taking the Bears as an example, they might not have made it if they played the Western teams more often. They might have struggled a little more. They might have had still a good record, but would have had a worse record because they would have played the West more often, and that would tell you more about whether or not the Bears were that good of a team that got to the finals. And so, I don't know. I think that's the consideration you need to have if you're going to change the playoff structure.
I think it's slightly unfair, too, for the West, because we got 16 teams opposed to 14. Just a random fact.
Sure.
If anyone didn't already know that, but I'm pulling this stat out of my ass, but I was told once by someone, and if you think about it, it seems to be valid. It's pretty much in any sport, for some reason or another, West always seems to be the stronger side of the sport. And I know you can pull out stuff and say, oh no, East was better this year or whatnot, but I find most of the time it just seems like West is best.
I don't know what would lend to that, though. Why would that be the case? I mean, certainly in the last few seasons we've seen that for sure. But if that's the case, I don't know. I don't know the correlation as to why that would happen.
It's an omen.
It's the what it is. It's the angular momentum of the Earth, the way that it spins on its axis, and the glare of the sun, which reflects off the stratosphere. It actually makes the West a little bit more potent.
See, but you give that answer for everything that you don't really know an answer for. So, well, before this game starts in 30 seconds, I know guys, when they want to take a team, will request a certain team, and maybe the guys who request the Western teams are guys who are Western guys, but maybe Western Canada, maybe they're the smarter hockey players. Just a theory.
I'm East.
Well, no offense. I mean, I wasn't talking about you. I meant the other guys in the East.
I'm excited to see this game. Vibes, you want to make a bet?
On this one?
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
We can make a bet, but I probably have the same team that you do, so.
Who are you going for?
I'm taking the Syracuse Crunch.
Oh,
damn it.
I would take the Sens.
Always trust in Tanner. You take teams to the championship.
You want to know something? Tanner, he didn't lose the game with you all playoffs last season, did he?
Nope.
He hasn't lost a game yet in these playoffs either.
Tanner's a monster, and
he's undefeated in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Undefeated. Hasn't lost a playoff game yet.
I made the comment earlier in the shout box too. He's only as good as his D partners, so that's why I didn't do too good with. I forget where he was with. Was it the Roadrunners? No, it was. Or it might have been the Rockford IceHogs. Spent most of the season out there. That's why his record's probably so bad. But And even in regular season, when we picked him up last year, we only lost 1 game.
Syracuse is killing a penalty right away as this game starts. And Syracuse will get a shot on goal finally on this one.
I missed it. Was that penalty on purpose? Was it?
You know, I missed it too. I don't know if that was any kind of violation, so we'll find out later. I hadn't heard of anything needing to be taken for this game, but it did happen very quickly.
Did you happen to notice what the lineup went off as? Did it go off as dictated on the website?
It looks like it.
Yeah, I saw, you know, there was one name for the Sens that is different than what I'm seeing on the site, but I don't know if that's just because it's the name that he's playing under that he's using on PS4 as opposed to the name he's using in the league. So that's always a bit confusing. But well, yeah, I mean we'll certainly find out later. Opportunity in front, and again. Kostom has played well. A couple of good saves there. Opportunities on the corner, but Lobo not able to jam it home. And we'll see again, like you mentioned earlier, Vibes. You know, all this talk about Lobo Dangles. He's had a pretty good couple of games in this playoffs, but he, you know, certainly is going to get tested tonight to see what he can do in a game 7.
Yeah, we'll definitely see what he's made of.
Period. It's about halfway over. Still no score in this one. And Lobo in the 2 games he's played against the Sens, both victories. A 6-3. 6-3 victory. I believe it was in game 2, and then game 5, 2-1. He's got 4 goals in this one, 3 goals in the playoffs so far. 4 assists, a +2 against a good Sens team. No matter what line they're putting out there, they're putting out a pretty good line. So he's already produced in this series. Good passing there, and great pass back to the point by Lobo. But Kostom there to make the save. Syracuse very patient on defense. I don't know if you watched that last few seconds there, but basically everybody was standing still waiting for the puck to come out of the corner, just holding position instead of skating around and letting one of the Sens open up. So good discipline there by the Crunch. 6.5 left to go. Still no score in this one. And again, it could very well be a 2-1, 3-2 kind of game. Now Syracuse coming out again, broken up. Nice play. A lot of neutral zone play, a penalty being called now on Binghamton, and Syracuse will go on a power play 0 for 2 tonight.
You know, knowing how Nazi plays, because I played with him in Season 3 in the NHL, you got to watch your stick around him. He'll draw penalties all day. And the fact that you're getting them in the neutral zone is bad. You should only be getting those penalties, if at all, in your defensive zone. Nothing's worse than a forechecking penalty, tripping, unnecessary.
Sens holding on to this one. Good opportunity in front, but not able to connect with Schmitty. Now he's got it back in front. Good glove save there by Slatter. Able to get the glove on it before it hit the top corner. Under 2 minutes left to go now, first period. A lot of bunching up between the blue lines. Both teams have kind of employed a little bit of blue line defense. Snapping a puck on net. Good save by Kostom, not allowing a huge rebound. Down to the last few seconds in the first, and an opportunity here for the Sens. Puck is loose in front. Slaughter able to get over there and put a pad on it. Good opportunity for the Sens there late, but not able to pound it home, and we're scoreless after one. Sens in the crunch.
I feel like the Sens haven't really done much.
Hasn't been a lot by them. They've been killing off penalties. I think they've had 3 against them so far. At the very least, they're very good at penalty killing. 0 for 3 on the power play is Syracuse. 3 total shots so far in a period for them. They got outshot by Binghamton, oddly enough. A minute more on time on attack, and so very tentative, very cautious first period of a Game 7. Biggie, when you played a couple of Game 7s last season, you know, I think we saw that with a few games, and not necessarily yours, but it's been your experience that you wind up seeing teams be very cautious, not wanting to make the mistake to give up a goal. Did you see a little bit of that last year in your Game 7 matchups?
Oh yeah, everything's tightened up. You know, you're not making risky plays because all it takes is one mistake and another team's capitalizing, especially because you're playing the best lineup the team has. You got to think defense first. I'm shocked to see that the other game was such a high-scoring game. Because pretty much every Game 7 game we played. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that, because when we played the Stars, it was also a very high-scoring game. But I do remember the Iowa Wild was, I think, a 1-0 win.
Right.
And so a goal is everything here. You score a goal, you tighten even more. You're playing a little loose when it's 0-0, but game changes after 1, I'd say, especially when you play 2 teams like this who are very evenly matched up.
Opportunity in front. Again, another block shot. Both teams have done a pretty good job clogging up the middle, but now Syracuse is going to take a penalty, and this will be the first power play for Binghamton tonight here in the second period. See if they can capitalize on what their man advantage play looks like. Syracuse is able to clear it out, and so far Binghamton not able to get anything going. Shot quickly on net by Dangles, and not able to slip one past Kostom. He's there and holds on. Sens control and now start back up. Barikoff gets knocked off the puck, and now back the other way. Syracuse. Good steal by Lobo Dangles. Tries to keep it in the corner, now poked back into the corner and fought for. Lobo now on the sideboards. Good job killing the penalty. His teams are now at even strength. And Syracuse now tries to get it in, but they're offsides. Good, very late, good penalty killing there. And if nothing else, you can certainly say this front line, including Lobo, doing a nice job killing time on the power play, on the penalty kill. Sens coming back in. Schmitty trying to get in there, but not able to. Now a partial breakaway. Good defense coming back. Lobo trying to get something going, but can't grab the puck, and now back the other way. Delayed penalty coming to Syracuse as Kostom looking to get off the ice. Sens try and kill it, but not able to do anything with it. And regroup, so now power play. 9:39 left to go in the second. Halfway through this one. Still no score, and Syracuse on their, Binghamton on their second power play. Didn't get much go in the first one.
I find Syracuse brings a lot of defense out with their offense. They're killing this game in Binghamton's zone.
Pass in front, but nobody there. Puck fought for. Math QC trying to get a stick on it, but it gets cleared out by the Syracuse Crunch, and they'll start up again. 40 seconds on the power play. Barakov tries to flip one in, still trying to control it. Backhander, good glove save. Puck is loose again. Still loose in the slot, now on the sideboard, and cleared out. Penalty is over. Barakov flips it up. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna say to Biggie that it's funny that he mentioned what he did, because that's always been my I call it the LG conundrum, where defense leads to your offense, but your best form of defense is a good offense. So it's it's just the LG conundrum. Or
Another
the EA
trip.
conundrum, I guess I should say.
Another trip by Syracuse. Binghamton, in their 2 power plays so far tonight, 1 shot. They're on their 3rd one. Let's see if they can connect on anything here. QC not able to get a control of it. Now back the other way. Kostom deflects it to the right corner. Now starting back out. Barakov now up front for Boone. Offsides, though, is the play. Face off won by the Crunch. Puck still loose and now picked up by Boone. Backhander off the post. He got Slider a little bit off the post, but was not able to get the puck enough inside of the post and hits off.
Nice.
Now Math had it, stops, comes back. Good shot on goal, but partially blocked and cleared out. Power plays over for Binghamton. And now Syracuse has a chance back. That'll be a penalty, as Lobo is tripped, as he almost had a good backhand opportunity. That was probably a good penalty there, Vibes.
Yeah, probably a good one to take.
2 minutes left to go in the second period. Still no score. And the Crunch on another power play. Boone tries to get it over to Schmitty, but he gets knocked off the puck. Now the Crunch back in. Lobo trying to get a backhander going, but not able to. Now Sens back up. Cleared out. Now sent back in. 30 seconds left to go in the second period. 10 seconds on the Crunch power play as the teams are now even strength. Last few seconds. Shot on net and a good shot. Follow up by Lobo on the opposite side, cleaning up and putting it home and putting Syracuse on top in this one, 1-0.
I was just gonna say you got the sense from Syracuse they were kind of like a predator, just laying in wait, just waiting for their time to pop up and strike. And that's what they did there. They weren't really giving up much, and then they just waited for their opportunity, and there it was.
It's funny how there's tied in shots and the time on attack so close. It does, to me, seem that Syracuse is really all over them.
Sort of seeing the replay here being shown by Kaz, and again, one of those plays that every goaltender hates, which is the shot from one side, the big rebound, and the other winger there to pick it up and slam it home. Goldberg dangles, breaking the 0-0 tie late in the second. Now, again, another opportunity, an open net, and Kostom with another rebound on front, nobody to help him out, and Leroy with the goal on this one, the second goal to open up the third period, and now Syracuse up 2-0 in this game.
That was such a clean breakout by Syracuse. All 5 players touched the puck.
And again, shots on net and following it up, and unfortunately the Sens just could not follow up with them and cover any of those guys, and the third opportunity kills them. And now Binghamton find themselves on the opposite end of a tide going against them. Can they get some offense generated here? Crunch down on a 2-on-1. Opportunity broken up there. Nice play by Schmitty coming back to help out.
You see what the Crunch are doing, though? All they're doing is they're just waiting for the Senators to make a mistake. And as soon as they make the mistake, they pounce on it and go the other way.
That's how defense works. And if they're not making mistakes, all you have to do is you got to strike on their weakest points, on a pivot or something like that. You got to find. A lot of teams don't do that.
In a way, they're really just letting the Senators beat themselves is what they're really doing.
Opportunity in front. Puck is loose, but no real shot on net there. And they're rushing it out quickly. Just putting pucks on net again. But, it's an interesting point you guys bring up because I think it's so easy for a team to get over-aggressive and make mistakes while you just sit back and wait.
And that's exactly what's happening, Sibs. The very second that a Binghamton player jumps out of position or does something they shouldn't do, Syracuse is going the other way, and they're doing it to perfection right now.
Kind of felt like I saw a lot of that from your guys last season, Biggs. Again, you guys played great defense, sat back and joined the play when you needed to, but for the most part, your forwards did all the aggressive forechecking, and you guys, just kept your position. And I think we're seeing some of that with the Crunch tonight. Their defensemen are not really joining the play unless they're deep in the zone for a little bit, and staying home on defense, letting their forwards forecheck.
Yeah, there's a time and place to play an offensive part in defense, and right now for Syracuse, that time is non-existent. You got to stay home.
That puck is down low, and everybody from Syracuse is down low joining in. Loose puck and almost tipped in. Still finally comes out. It was loose there on the corner of the post for a little bit. We're finally getting down to the last 5 minutes of this third period, and still Binghamton needing to provide some offense now. A quick pass up, but a good defensive play coming back to help out. Now pass in front, opportunity there for Schmitty, but he can't connect. Good save. Puck is loose again in front, and now almost cleared out. Now Syracuse finally gets it cleared out and moving it up. They're going to regroup and flip one forward. Lobo. Now sends back out again. Puck can't be cleared. Now pops out front. Last minute to go in this third period. Syracuse up 2-0. Icing call and a timeout being called by the Sens. So far, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sens got a lot to do in 50 seconds, especially with not very many good opportunities.
Just not a great overall offensive game for Binghamton. They've had a couple of opportunities here and there, but no real structure in setting up a play. As far, a couple of times they made a few good passes, but just not consistently happening for them today. Sens now trying to bring it back in again. Schmitty trying to get one. It's blocked again as everyone from the Crunch are in front of the net.
Oh.
Now in front. Opportunity, cross-ice pass for Math, not there as Lobo tried. He's fighting behind the net with the puck. And now Sens come back out. They're pulling the goaltender. On net, good save by Slatter. And now again in the right corner. Puck comes out. Good try again from the point, and now an open net goal. As Lobo slams it home and seals this one up. Okay, that goal was a little light. Would have been funny if he missed an open netter with a slapper. But the Crunch are going to close this one out. Minute and a half left to go. Now we're going to get a few fights. But Syracuse...
We're going to fight.
Syracuse is going to win this one. The Sens... Tell you what, you know, the way things were going for them and the fact that they were able to do what they did this season with trade deadline management changes and then personnel changes, you know, I really thought that they were able to withstand that. They should go far in this playoff, but yeah, the Crunch, give them credit. They have a hell of a team, again, put together very well, and Lobo plays a part in this last game. And as these fights about ready to finish up, we'll finish this game out in a second or two. But again, another good series, another good game. No scoring through almost 2 periods before finally the Crunch able to get Binghamton to push themselves a little more offensively, then found an opportunity where they could get behind the defense and get a shot on net and follow up on the rebound. And that's textbook what you need to do. And boy, I tell you what, Vibes, I think you called it. They were trying to play with the Sens early on, and then just sat back a bit and waited for opportunities and played it smart.
They were just counterpunching is what they were doing. They were counterpunching, and it's how you win sometimes. Well, it's how you win a lot of times. If a team can properly counterpunch, they're hard to beat.
As you see, 11 shots on goal for Binghamton, 10 for Syracuse. Not an awful lot of offense. We saw a lot of neutral zone play, a lot of tentative play, certainly in the first period for a good first half of the game. Not a lot of guys taking chances. And after that late second period goal, I think that gave Syracuse some momentum, some confidence, and they came right back out and were able to put one up pretty early in the third period. And from there, they just played smart defense and let Binghamton, try to take chances.
You let them beat themselves. You look at the shots, you look at the time on attack, and it's pretty close. But in reality, I mean, I don't know how Biggie feels, but in reality, Binghamton never had a chance.
No, I feel the exact same way.
And this game is over.
Only way Binghamton wins that game is 1-0. They had to score a goal and shut Syracuse down.
And so the final 3-0 Syracuse, a shutout in Game 7, and the Crunch will move on. And, about what you would figure in this game, we kind of all thought it was going to be a low scorer. Maybe a little tighter than we expected it to be in this Game 7, but certainly, good competition, good play. And again, the Crunch are moving on, and certainly not again another team that does not have anything easy. They of course have to now take on the Toronto Marlies, who beat up on the Comets. And Marlies versus either the Sens or the Crunch is pretty much, I think, what we all expected, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say so. And the Crunch were a really good possibility, and now you got the two titans of the Eastern North ready to do battle, so buckle up.
Well, we're going to be doing our show tomorrow night, and Biggie probably will not be joining us for that one, but we'll certainly pick these games. But Biggs, what if you're going to throw quick picks out right now, your first impressions of these 4 series, I'll throw them out there for you. Give me a quick pick. You don't have to say about games. Just tell me what team you think is going to win. If we're going to talk about the Crunch and the Marlies, who's your selection?
That's tough. I can't give you a stats answer, but I'll go with my gut feeling and I'll pick the Crunch.
Thunderbirds and Bears.
I think that one's obvious for the Bears.
Texas and San Jose.
That one's also very, very tough. I think any team can come out there. I think San Jose is going to win, but I really hope Texas does.
And finally, the Moose and the Monsters.
I'll fucking kill you, Biggie. Don't you do it. Don't you fucking do it. I'll kill you.
Well, you know how much of a Cleveland Monster fan I am, so you know which way I'm going.
Yeah, the Moose is going to come out there. And just know that there's two people I hate in LG, and they're facing off against each other, and I have to pick one of those two people, so it's tough.
One of them better not be me. Who are they?
Oh, of course it's you.
Oh, that's fucked up, Big.
Any final thoughts from you guys? Let's wrap it up and get the hell out of here. Any final thoughts on these two series? First, let's start with the Reign and San Jose. As far as I'm concerned, I feel bad for the Reign the way things went down, but this series to me was going to go 7. I felt like it was going to go 7, maybe 6. Just the way it happened is the surprise. The only surprise I have.
Like I said before, I think it's good that San Jose won. They're healthy. It's like hockey. They're healthy and ready to play another round. The Reign would be struggling in the next round anyway, so it's good that they won.
Vibes, your thoughts on that on the Reign Barracuda?
Well, I mean, look, I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but I'm going to toot my own horn a little bit. I picked the Barracuda in 7. So, Although I will say I didn't expect the Reign to jump out to such a big lead early on. I was a little taken back by that. And for a split second, I thought that I might have been wrong, but I usually not, so...
The modesty is just amazing. The other series, Syracuse and the Sens, again, I don't know if I could have guessed this to be any other way than the way it wound up. But Game 7 and a good struggle today, a good close, low-scoring struggle, and either one of these teams, it could have been either one of them. It would have been interesting to see the Sens go further. But the Crunch are just that good.
I think, again, I picked the Crunch in 7. So, again, I don't know. I can't feel your pain on this one.
I also think I picked the Crunch in 7. Really tight series, but I knew that these guys would go to 7, and I was looking at Game 7 matchups, and I don't think any East team can match Syracuse's Game 7 lineup.
I might have picked them in 6, though. I might have. Not sure.
We'll take a look at the Pick'em leaders tomorrow and see where everybody is, and try and give some of the guys up top a little bit of a bump, and notice if they are doing well. So. Listen, guys, again, thanks a lot for joining me tonight. A lot of fun with a couple of more good playoff games. And Biggs, I appreciate you joining us the last couple of nights. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you more during the playoffs.
I'll probably be around. I got nothing else to do during weekdays.
And Vibes, we will talk to you tomorrow night with the show. Good job on this. Good job on your afternoon show. That was a lot of fun to listen to.
Thanks. I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and yeah, we'll do it tomorrow. You know, it's funny. Before I came on here tonight, just as a little tidbit of information, I actually stabbed myself in the foot with a pair of scissors.
Well, that's a great way to go off here. Thanks, Vibes. We'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I got blood all over my sock right now. I'll take
great.
A picture to show you.
Thursday Night Hockey in LeagueGaming.com. I'm glad you folks were able to join us tonight. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you on the Friday night show tomorrow night as we recap what happened in week 1 of the playoffs. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you later.